camera.
I reckon you could rock a G these days, eh?
Oh, not for my belly. No way.
Well, the G's all about the butt, not about the belly.
Yeah, but somebody's got to watch you coming as well as the going. And if they're horrified by the coming, they're not going to see the going.
What about a semi-G, just sometimes known as the semi? Are you admiring your garden, Meryl?
Yes. Did you see the skull?
Where? Show me.
I'm pointing.
Oh. Oh, that's where it is.
Just now it's got hair instead of brain.
Oh, very good. Oh, that looks good.
What if I got a camera here?
Okay. Now, can you do me a favour? Yeah, pick up the camera. By the way, you look very glamorous today, Meryl. You look like one of those ultra-tune chicks, you know, in the ultra-tune ads, or maybe a Grand Prix pit girl or something like that. How come you're all glammed up like that, Meryl?
I'm going to the gym and then I'm going for a swim.
Good idea. All right, now, since you're all glammed up like an Instagram, you could be a mature-aged Instagram influencer chickie.
No, I couldn't, because I don't give a shit.
Okay, now, what have you got in your hand there? Tell us what you got in your hand there.
2 cameras by a parent.
Yeah, now why do you think I've got 2 cameras
So
bondaged
you're going
up?
to compare one to the other with the same view.
Very good. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let's have a closer look at that. What I've got here is a new camera that I bought, the one that says "Hold Me Still" on it.
So for Oliver in Georgia.
Yeah, so what this is all about, for anybody that's been watching our vlogs, they'll realise that my grandkids, or Ollie in Georgia, are quite into this vlogging thing that I do, especially Ollie. He runs around, he like a little...
And he's like this.
Yeah, he moves it around all over the place. And they're going off on a big holiday soon.
Talk to me, yeah.
That's right.
3 tips about living your life is always be kind and have courage. 2, I think, or to live your life, do things fun sometimes. And 3, always have the best time. And always watch Cranky Boomers Just Hanging Out. And smash the like button if you like it, and all of my videos. Bye guys.
Right. So they're going off on a big holiday soon, so I thought it might be fun to give them their own vlogging cam that they can run around and do a little kiddie vlog thing, and then I'll put it on my channel for them, and then when they get older they can put it on their own channel. What are you looking at? Has it got a bug on it or something?
Oh, look at the ants on it.
Ah.
Look at it.
Oh yeah, that's bad, I guess, is it?
Yeah, I might have to go get a bucket with some detergent in it and dip it in.
Anyway, so I bought them a cheap vlogging cam, which is the one on the bottom.
Oh, it's a GoPro. It's not cheap. It's just a
Well,
cheaper version of this.
Yeah, well, it's like the GoPro's got a whole lot of different ones in their range, and this is probably the entry-level one, and it was also on special because they've got new models coming out. So it's relative, because that was like less than $200. The one at the top, the one that I used, was about $700, so there's a big difference in price. But I reckon the one on the bottom is probably more suitable for them, and this is to compare how they perform. So what I've got is, I've got the 2 of them bondaged together like that, and I'm going to be doing some footage and stuff so that we can see which, you know, how much worse or how bad they are. Now, as you can see on the one that I'm giving to the kids, I've got Hold Me Still on there, because one of the things that they like to do is jiggle them around a lot, and although both cameras have got stabilizers built into them, they're only good so far. So that's to try and, you know, minimize the jiggling as much as possible as a reminder. So that's what this is all about. Just a few basic differences between them. As I say, the price is a big one, $200 versus $700. The bottom one is a bit smaller, as you can see. The bottom one only does 1080p, or what's called full HD, whereas the top one does 4K. But for vlogging, you really only need 1080p. You don't need the 4K. The bottom one's frame rate's fixed at 60 frames a second, which is fine, means smooth motion and whatever. Normally, I just run mine at 30 frames a second because it uses much smaller files at 30 frames. but that one you can't change, which means the files are quite big to edit and move around and everything. But the other plus of the bottom one is, straight as it is there, it's waterproof to like 10 meters, which means kids can jump in and out of pools and everything with them. The top one you have to put in a proper waterproof case to do, you know, underwater stuff. So I thought that would be more suitable for the kids to be able to.
Can't you take yours underwater, but only to a meter?
Well, it's designed for if it drops in the water or, you know, gets rained on or whatever. As it is, it'll be okay, but you can't actually really go swimming with it for any period of time without putting it in its waterproof case. Whereas the one on the bottom is waterproof as it is without having to mount it in a special case or anything, which is better for the kids probably. So there's some basic differences, but they're both supposed to be 1080p, you know, full HD. They both got the stabilizers in them, and it'll just be interesting to see how they perform, because we're also going to the pool today, and because you've got your togs on under there, haven't you?
Indeed.
And so after our gymming, we'll try it out in the pool and everything and see how it goes. I won't put the big one in the pool, just the little one. So that's the intro to why we're doing it like that. Okay, so from here on in, you'll be looking at footage from the two cameras. I'm just videoing this on my smart cam right now. Okay, so we'll head off to the gym and pool. Okay, so test one is a low light test. So here we are going into the garage where it's quite gloomy. So we'll see which of the two cameras works best in low light conditions. The GoPro is called a GoPro Hero 7 White. There's a whole lot of GoPros. It's probably last year's model, which is why it's cheap. And the Sony is a Sony X3000 action cam. Okay, so test one is a low light test. So here we are going into the garage where it's quite gloomy. So we'll see which of the two cameras works best in low light conditions. The GoPro is called a GoPro Hero 7 White. There's a whole lot of GoPros. It's probably last year's model, which is why it's cheap. And the Sony is a Sony X3000 action cam. Okay, so we're on the bikeway now. One thing I did notice when I turned the two cameras on was that the GoPro had about a 5-second sort of boot up time before it would you could start filming, and the Sony was instant. Not that that really matters, it's certainly not worth a $500 difference, but yeah, you just have to be aware that you have to wait a few seconds before you can actually make it go. So here we go, heading down the bikeway. So we're listening for wind noise here on the microphone, and also how well it picks up my voice, I guess. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, I would expect the GoPro to have smoother motion because it's running at 60 frames a second. As I say, I can run the Sony at 60, but no need to because it uses bigger files, it takes longer to edit, but you can't change it from 60 on the GoPro, but I would expect that to look a bit smoother when I pan. Image stabilization's another thing. They claim that the GoPro has really good electronic image stabilization to stop jiggling around. The Sony also claims the same thing, so they should be sort of comparable. One shouldn't be jiggling more than the other, but we'll see. I'll do a bit of deliberate jiggling now to see how well that gets corrected. Deliberately jiggling, deliberately jiggling. Coming up to where Meryl's doing a training right now in the new gym. which is the first part of the New Queen's Wharf complex, and it's going to include the casino and everything. This is actually cast as part 1. There's Meryl's bike. Hello, gym workout lady. I know you're counting, so you can't talk, right? Okay. So as you can see, I'm testing the 2 cameras here. Moving it around. Okay, how's the motion, I wonder? Is it still? Beg your pardon? Yeah, they're going to fix it and it'll be ready this afternoon to pick up.
This one, the seat's too low and the swings look bad, and it's just nasty.
Wasn't it that bike that we just replaced the back tyre on recently? No, it wasn't.
What are you talking about?
Well, didn't you have a flat tyre on that recently and we just put a new tube in it? It was the front, was it? Oh, alright.
Yeah. The red bike, the seat's too low, there's too much shit going on around the seat, and ramps when you pedal. Very uncomfortable.
You used to like that red
No,
bike.
I never really liked that bike.
So you were just pretending to like it.
Well, you wanted me to ride it, so I did.
Oh, what a bully. Anyway, your preferred bike will be ready this afternoon.
Awesome.
How much longer have you got to go?
15 minutes.
All right, I'll do my thing and then we'll go for a swim. Okay, so we're on the bikeway now. One thing I did notice when I turned the 2 cameras on was that the GoPro had about a 5-second sort of boot up time before it would you could start filming, and the Sony was instant. Not that that really matters, it's certainly not worth a $500 difference, but yeah, you just have to be aware that you have to wait a few seconds before you can actually make it go. So here we go, heading down the bikeway. So we're listening for wind noise here on the microphone, and also how well it picks up my voice, I guess. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, I would expect the GoPro to have smoother because it's running at 60 frames a second. As I say, I can run the Sony at 60, but no need to because it uses bigger files, it takes longer to edit, but you can't change it from 60 on the GoPro, but I would expect that to look a bit smoother when I put it around like this. Image stabilization's another thing. They claim that their GoPro has really good electronic image stabilization to stop jiggling around. Sony also claims the same thing, so they should be sort of comparable. One shouldn't be jiggling more than the other. I'll do a bit of deliberate jiggling now to see how well that gets corrected. Deliberately jiggling, deliberately jiggling. Yeah, they're going to fix it and it'll be ready this afternoon to pick up.
Oh yeah, because this one, the seat's too low and the swings look bad, but it's just nasty.
Wasn't it that bike that we just replaced the back tyre on recently? No, it wasn't.
What are you talking about?
Well, didn't you have a flat tyre on that recently and we just put a new tube in it? It was the front, was it? Oh, all right.
Yeah. The red bike, the seat's too low and there's too much shit going on around the seat, and ramps when you pedal. Very uncomfortable.
You used to like that red bike.
No, I never really liked that bike.
So you were just pretending to like it.
Well, you wanted me to ride it, so I did.
Oh, what a bully. Anyway, your preferred bike will be ready this afternoon.
Awesome.
How much longer have you got to go?
15 minutes.
All right, I'll do my thing and then we'll go for a swim. Okay, so here we are at the pool. Very interesting to see how the sound compares, because normally I have an extended mic on the Sony to give it better sound, but I've taken it off so that they can be compared without any extra microphones. You're not walking very fast, Meryl. Are you a bit buggered? A lot more people in the afternoon, later in the day, hey? Okay, so here we are at the pool. Very interesting to see how the sound compares, because normally I have an extended mic on the Sony to give it better sound, but I've taken it off so that they can be compared without any extra microphones. You're not walking very fast, Meryl. Are you a bit buggered? A lot more people in the afternoon, later in the day. It's 11:25. Okay, now theoretically you can be taken underwater. So here we go for an underwater test. So are yours.
Oh, are they? Oh, awesome.
So they've got automatic tinting, because they weren't tinted.
No,
Because they weren't tinted before, were they?
No.
Yeah, they seem to work quite well. So I'm testing the camera underwater.
Here by the lifeguard.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
She looks great.
With the guy with the stuff between his legs?
Yes. The girl behind him.
Oh, I
Looks
can't really
great,
see. Oh, okay. Is that a G, a semi-G, a full bottom? What is it?
I don't know. I'm seeing her ass. There's mine, a bra.
I reckon you could rock a G these days, darling.
Oh, not with my belly. No way.
Well, the G's all about the butt, not about the belly.
Yeah, but somebody's got to watch you coming as well as the going. And if they're horrified by the coming, they're not going to see the going.
What about a semi-G, just sometimes known as the semi? Actually, you get other kinds of semis around the beach, don't you? Not to be confused with other kinds of semis.
Indeed.
I'm talking about the semi-trailers, you know, that come through with all their gear and annoy everybody by the beach.
Sure you do. Yeah.
So you reckon you could rock a semi?
No.
I reckon you could.
Oh, you're sweet. No, it's a full bikini bottom.
Yeah, no, she looks good.
No, she looks great. Although, it's a bit big. See how she keeps trying to put her boobs in?
Well, she probably needs bolt-ons. They don't need putting back in, they just stay put, don't they?
Oh. Oh, that's kind of disgusting.
They seem to have gone out of fashion a bit.
What have?
Bolt-ons.
Hallelujah. Yeah, because they keep killing people.
Well, yeah, or is that? I suppose.
How about that bikini you see the black one with the
With the arm tat?
yes.
Yeah, that's all right. It's like a 70s style bottom, you know, the low slung 70s bikini bottom.
Oh, I think that's
Did you have the low slung bikinis back in the 70s?
Oh, I had them like that.
Yeah, low slung.
I don't know that that's low slung. I think it's just a hip one.
Oh, that's a semi.
Oh,
A
that's it.
low slung slimmy, I'd call that.
With your low slung slimmy.
Semi. Yeah, no, that looks all right. Now, what about one piece? There's a nice red one piece coming up here, but it's like high cut. You don't like the high cut, do you?
Oh, but that looks alright, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. I think it looks good. I don't have a problem with the high cut. You're the one that said you didn't like the high cut.
No, the high cut that we saw the other day was even higher than that. It was up over the hip bone, and
Yeah.
that was great.
Well, when we used to make the gym wear, the idea was to cut it high to give you a longer leg line.
Yeah, do you know, that shit is really uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing in the 80s, like
Yeah,
to have.
because women let men tell them what to wear. Now, there's a one piece that's incredibly wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah, the girl with the hat over there.
What's wrong with it?
It's got no ass, look.
Oh, I see. So one piece with
Has to
G
have
backs are
an
no good.
I don't think so. I think that looks nasty.
But you're okay with a bikini with that's a G.
Only if it's got a great ass in it.
Gee, the rules are pretty specific.
Yes. You're so sweet. But you would have to live with the fallout, you see.
The fallout. They're going to fall out of it.
No, the nuclear.
Speaking of fallout, see the chick in the red there going up the stairs?
Yeah.
There's definitely not going to be any fallout going on there. They are rock hard, don't you reckon?
Oh, that is just ugly. See, she can't wear that. That chicken that we just saw with the black, that's basically the same bikini.
And you reckon the one in the black looks good, but the one in the red, no good?
Doesn't.
Yeah, no, that chick there looks good with the little white label on the back or whatever it is.
Oh, that
Straight
one,
across
yeah.
there, yeah.
Oh, she looks strange. Got the black on the white.
Oh yeah.
She looks good.
Now that's high cut. That's high cut over the hips, like you were saying you didn't like.
Well, looks great on her. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Looks great on her.
Yeah.
She's got the shape for it.
Yeah, no, that looks fine.
She's got like an old-fashioned pin-up shape, isn't she?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm just saying that's why it looks good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you could definitely wear that outfit that she's got, I
The
reckon.
black and white?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't think so, because I've got stitch marks and stuff. I need to keep that fucking shit undercover. Nobody needs to see that.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really noticed.
My legs are great, but they're not going to distract from the fact that I've got belly.
Well, there's not much belly left. You've been chipping away at it. There's not much left. Oh, a little bit. Okay, shall we go? I'm getting hungry.
I'm getting hungry. Okay.
So subscribe and subscribe and subscribe as much as you can. Now, that's all the time we've got. So, if you like this video, smash the like button. And if you liked it like even much, give it a subscribe.